What's up, guys? It's Klex, and today I'm going to be talking about how to find good COD competitive teammates. For the first time on this channel, I do have a guest, actually, somebody that I met through the Discord. Link in the description to that, obviously. His name is Siege Gaming. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself at all, man?
Hey guys, I'm Siege Gaming. I'm an amateur player, Call of Duty player. I met Klex through the Discord. We've been talking and came up with this video idea to talk about how to find good competitive teammates, what to look for, to go a little rundown.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this is going to be a longer formatted video. I actually had somebody comment a while back, maybe even two people. So I thought this would be a good opportunity. This is somebody I met through the Discord. I like the way he thinks about competitive Call of Duty. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a longer discussion. Obviously, there's gameplay over it of some CDL matches that we thought were pretty exciting. So, put it down there, watch the CDL gameplay, and maybe put the this YouTube video channel to the side, and just kind of listen to us, because this is going to be a longer formatted discussion, but it's not going to be like a whole podcast. It might be, we're aiming for like about 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more than that. So first off, obviously, to find good COD competitive teammates, we have to think where to find these guys, right? So we are basically going to be talking about that first. Obviously, first thing is going to be Twitter. You're going to want to go ahead and search free agents for Call of Duty. Just go ahead and all there. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description. Obviously, use hashtags. There's a couple Twitter accounts as well. Another thing is game battles. There's a free agent list on the website where you can literally look for people that are looking for teammates on Cold War's game battles link there. Link in the description again, like I said. And as you can see in the video right now, it shows the player's location, the time zone, the time they would want to get on, all that kind of good stuff. And like we just talked about on the Discord, my Discord, link in the description below. It can definitely help you to find people, but there's also other Discords, link in the description to that. Reddit, r/CodComp plays, that's a good one. And Siege, maybe if you want to talk about league play, because that's something that me and him were kind of discussing. How would you meet players through league play?
So basically, you would just run through the get matches. Most likely, try to have your ideally with the mic on. Teammates unmuted, of course. And if you see someone who might impress you, whether it be in a search map, a hardpoint, or a control, just pay attention to some of the things that the player is doing and how he communicates, and ideally, and then ask if he would like to potentially play comp. If that does go well, I would definitely go into further and talk about discussions as far as schedules and goals.
Yeah,
See how they align.
for sure. And another thing, this is going to be the last kind of topic on where to find teammates: referrals from people you currently know in the scene. Obviously, Siege has been around for a little bit. He knows people in the community. He's had players that he's played with in the past. Whether or not they're on his team, he has people that he plays occasionally with league play. If you know these guys, even if you just met them, let's say you just met someone solo queuing through league play, tell them, hey, you got anybody that you're playing with right now? Just kind of get referrals. You'll make a circle the more you get out there in the community. That's another thing that me and Siege were talking about before. The way that a lot of professionals has come up in competitive Call of Duty, the way Simp, Huke, Temp, TJ Halley, all these guys, they really came up from that circle of S&D stars in Call of Duty competitive. So just get referrals from people you currently know. That's a good thing to do in where to find teammates. And now, really, the big point as to why I wanted to bring Siege onto this video is because he's a player that is in the amateur scene more than me. Right now I'm playing casually, and I'm just, really interested in gaining knowledge of the competitive scene. Obviously, I do play COD competitive a lot, but I just want to get your point of view, Siege, on what to look for in a good teammate for COD competitive.
Generally speaking, you would like to have a player y'all understand each other's interests. Has a good knowledge of competitive COD, whether it be decision making in game, out of game. Ideally, schedules that line up. There's also, I personally look for a player that can fill in gaps in the gameplays. As like, say, for example, you have a player on a rotation on a raid. from P2 to P3. Say if he dies on ringside on rotation, he spawns up back kitchen, right? Instead of just going straight into the hill, maybe going back kitchen where tree is or back jungle, watching that back laundry side. Because ideally, the player that was ringside uh, pushes through back laundry and gaining spawns for his team. So, and then just, of course, good communication, good vibes, and generally speaking, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. What you want to look for in a good teammate is all those kinds of things. Obviously, you want someone who's good at the game, but also I would believe, right, you would want to have someone that you would enjoy playing with too, because you're gonna have a lot of time interacting with each other. So I do believe you want somebody with a good attitude. Really, yeah, I believe that you hit the mark there on all those kinds of things on how to find a good teammate. Yeah, just kind of get a feel for if they're the right, if they match with you. Whether you've got yourself just going, whether you got a duo, you and somebody else, a trio, try to figure out if that person really fits into the puzzle for your team. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about how to communicate with your teammates well. We kind of delved, well, I kind of delved into that into my video that I did on how to be a better teammate, but there's definitely a lot more to it. That video was pretty short, so this is going to be a longer discussion, obviously. So I'm going to kind of rattle off some things and I'll let you jump in eventually, Siege. So, how to communicate with your teammates well. You're going to want to be clear and concise, but at the same time, you're going to want to remain calm. It's the old saying, treat people the way you would want to be treated. You know, you can't go ahead and be a dick to these people that you're playing with, even though, you know, maybe they don't get the clutch kill, all that kind of stuff. Maybe they make a big mistake. You know, try to remain calm. For sure, it might be a big deal if that happens in a tournament format, but you definitely want to try to remain calm as possible. And then and that topic of being clear and concise, you know, you definitely don't want to confuse your teammates or anything, especially mid game. You want to try to communicate the best you can, also in a short way, because you want the comms to be fluid. You want the comms to be smooth. You hear that a lot when we listen to the comms on the CDL matches from the casters. They're trying to focus on whether there's a lot of frantic calling out happening. And something that I want you to delve in on, Siege, is communicating about routes and sightlines. What do you think
Right.
a person should bring if they want to focus on getting better at that?
So really, you want to think ahead, right? You want to think 2, 3 steps ahead, ideally. I compare competitive Call of Duty myself to chess, thinking those 2, 3 moves ahead, but also having to have a backup plan. So, say if you communicate, main AR usually communicating that he's going to watch a long sight line. That way, his SMGs know what to look for. Look for ideally the shorter range gunfights instead of having to, I guess, finesse going through that long line of sight that you're already going down instead of maybe getting cut from the side. And being able to communicate that with your teammates and routes is especially huge because of the fact that you need a plan. You need to be able to communicate in a way that gives an idea to the rest of your teammates of how to play together in that specific situation. Because sometimes the initial plan does not go according to plan.
Mm,
Most of the time, that's going to be the case, and you're just going to have to do something on the fly.
yeah, you need to be flexible. For sure. So yeah, you know, another thing that I mentioned in my video, I've mentioned it probably multiple times, and if you guys watch the most popular Call of Duty competitive team at the moment, obviously that's Optic Chicago, and their scrims, a lot of the time they're eliminating gamer tags of every wave of the enemy spawns. You know, like let's say they're playing against FaZe, they're like, all right, we got a BZ, okay, we got Simp. All right, we're looking for Celium and Arcides now. That's something that's gonna happen, and we'll bring it up. And when me and Siege were discussing about this video, Siege, you said that you're gonna have to really maybe more so do that when you're more familiar with the enemy team. Like let's say maybe you
I
scrim that enemy team a lot, but
right.
try to do that.
S-
I think it's a good thing to always try to do, in my opinion. But yeah,
It is, but it is always ideal. But like saying league play, it's kind of hard to be able to say something like that, especially back when there was overkill. But there's no longer overkill anymore. But it's hard to be able to say a name to a player that you don't really run into.
true, true.
Um, say because like you don't know how that player is going to play. You
Mm,
can make an educated guess through a bunch of repetition, a lot of studying on the game. And another thing too about about calling out gamer tags is that you'll notice that like say instead of our city, say may say Alec,
yeah,
just to make it like one less syllable or two less syllables. And then like instead of Crim sexy, they say Crim or like
shorten the gamer
say
tags.
instead of
Yeah.
like parasite, they say Haggy. You
Hmm.
know,
Keep the
just
comms
stuff like that.
smooth. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, moving on from that, we definitely got to talk about what big details you want to focus on communicating to your teammates. Those are obviously things like, let's say you spawned out, where and when you should use your kill streaks, if you need someone to bait for you so you can get some kill streaks more easily, if you need help on rotations as well. You're also maybe want to call out what you are watching so your teammates can assist you better. There's a lot of even situations like for example, obviously we've recently experienced Optic Chicago kind of struggling a little bit, and I was watching Namos's video going over what was going wrong, and it just kind of seemed like they were doing the same things. It was weird. Obviously we're going to have our off days and anything we do, especially something at such a high level that these guys are playing at the professionals. But you just really want to call out what you're watching so your team is going to assist you better, so you aren't doing the same things. And even you don't even really have to call it out so much. You just really, like I've said, and you probably heard so many times before, the mini map. Just look at the mini map. That's gonna tell the story a lot. So yeah, just
Right.
be able to assist your teammates. Don't do the same shit basically, but yeah, be aware of whether any enemies have streaks, so they're on the verge of streaks as well. Maybe just kind of be like, okay, this guy's been alive for a while. That's another thing you want to focus on. The kind of list of those kills happening, and
Kill
also the
feed.
scores. Yeah, the kill feed. I don't know why I just bleeped out. I couldn't think of the word for that. But yeah, the scores too. If somebody's got a high score, and yeah. Would you want to talk about vibes? Because I feel like you've had more experience with that, and I want to hear somebody that's experienced maybe some teams that have had good vibes, worse. What's your experience with that?
So as far as vibes go, I personally try to look for the calm but also like motivated kind of
Mm,
people. And that's hard to find because of the fact that most people in this game are very, I guess, so energetic in a sense that it may mellow out the rest of the team.
yeah,
And you don't want that. It may drown out even the in-game leader, and that's not something that you would really want to happen. Um, and the thing is, too, you don't want to be constantly arguing with your teammates, especially mid-map. If you notice something in-game, keep a mental note and say something about it after the game or
completely
in
agree.
between the games. Right.
Yeah,
Whether it be league or scrims, you gotta talk it out at some point and just be constructive with it. Don't try to be like, well, you messed up here, and just going at them, right? Because like you treat people how you want to be treated, basically.
yeah, like we said earlier. Yeah,
And it's something that I can't stress enough as far as like looking what kind of comms, what kind of temperament your teammates I would ideally have.
yeah. I mean, imagine someone is just like, "Yo, guys, all right, it's 5-4. let's not choke. Come on, it's
Right.
that wouldn't be good. You definitely don't ever talk about choking. That's
Nope.
definitely not something you want to do. Just kind of say, hey,
No.
yeah, it's all good. Let's come back. No, not even that. It's all good. We got this. Then talk about what
Right.
shots you want
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Definitely don't
You
bring
gotta
choking
you
up.
gotta make the mess. You gotta make the mess of the situation.
Definitely. What
Like
happened has
you gotta.
happened. We got to work on
Right.
the present, and that's
Right.
how will affect the future.
Right. Because like the thing is about that too is that I've been in that situation where teammates were not confident in just going into the map.
Hmm.
And it just be in a scrim, or they'd be too scared to scrim a specific team. And
Wow.
that's something that I personally don't get,
Now
because
that's
like you would want to learn from the
yeah.
experience.
You would get better only
Uh,
from facing a better team. Yeah.
right, always, and
Hmm.
you learn something new. Whether you end up separated from that team or not, you have that knowledge. You have the experience, and that's what most players need to keep in mind. And the thing is too, if you notice how pro play was in even challengers today, but pro play before franchising, players would hop, right? Players just to, whether it be vibes or just the difference in opinion, and it's a huge deal. But no matter what, you bring those experiences with you.
Yeah. So yeah, further on from that, I think you'd want to just try to have fun. I think that would be a good aspect to try to find and a good teammate as well. Try to work on yourself. You don't obviously want to be with someone who doesn't enjoy playing, because if you're not
No.
enjoying playing, it's definitely going to affect you wanting to improve. So you want to have fun with your teammates, joke around, get to know your teammates, become friends with them, get to know their real names perhaps. Like we just mentioned, these pros, they all know each other. Obviously, it's kind of different because they've met each other in real life in when they played on LAN. But even now, they play eights with each
Hmm.
other. Do the same thing. Talk with your teammates, the people you're playing eights with. Like I said, make that circle and get to know their favorite musicians, their favorite movies. Talk about regular sports with them. Talk about kind of competitive with them as well. That's a big thing for sure. But hey, man, we just reached over the 21-minute, 30-second mark. I guess we kind of were right in there. We kind of went over what we were talking about, 15 to 20 minutes. But hey, I think we got everything. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, thanks Siege for coming onto the channel. Link in the description to his YouTube channel as well.
Thanks, man.
And no problem, Siege. Thanks for coming on, giving your
Uh,
perspective as an amateur Call of Duty player. Anything you want to
no
talk
problem,
about?
man. No problem, man. I'll always be willing to come back. Just guys, keep in mind these players. You gotta look for what's right.
Hmm.
And be mindful. You gotta think ahead of like what kind of teammates you would want to team up with instead of. And you don't want to be that rotten apple either, or find that rotten apple,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, go
big.
ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Because that can just crumble the whole entire team just because of one bad apple on the team.
And you know what? I think honestly, the last thing I'm gonna say about the topic is, I think it's a numbers game. To be honest, let's say you talk, and it's kind of a
So,
wild number. Like, let's say you meet 100 players, you talk to them, you scrim with them.
right,
You're gonna
right.
find within those 100 players, you're definitely gonna find three really
At
good
least one.
guys, or at least one. Yeah, that you'll find that good duo, which is important. You'll find at least three really good guys that have a good mentality, that all match with you for sure. If you practice with 100 players, so get out there. It's a numbers game for sure, and that's another thing. You got to really be out there. Nobody's gonna give you your teammates really, so you're gonna have to go ahead and find them. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's pretty much it. Like I said, it's been Klex and Siege. Link in the description to his channel. Link in the description to all the stuff we talked about. Twitter links, game battle links, the Discords I talked about. I'm gonna link a bunch of Discords that are good to find teammates on. And yeah, like I said, thanks for watching the video. Go ahead and leave a like. That really helps the channel, push it out to more people, and overall that will help the Call of Duty competitive community find good teammates, and thus that'll make the community is so much better for sure. And yeah, guys, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. Peace, guys.